All right, let's see. Should be live. Sorry, I just got out of the shower and I was running a little behind today. I got to be on the road at least an hour from now, so I'll probably be here at least to the start of the F1 race. If I got to make any changes there, let me just make sure we're all good here. See, that's there. That's there. So, all right. If you're watching this on replay, which I assume most of you will be, let's see. I should be getting into it in a second here. For those of you joining me early this morning, cool, I got that finished there. Feel free to drop any questions or anything you might have in the comment section and stuff, and I'll answer those towards the end of this. I'll give you a rundown of what I'm doing here. So, should we go live here? Which we are. Okay, cool. I know it's like pitch black right now because it's the super early morning here. Let me at least get my second monitor on some light or something. There you are. That might be a little bit more helpful here. Let me X out of that stuff. All right, so and I'll put some stuff on the screen in a second. When I'm looking at this Darlington race and stuff, and yes, I will be I'll be selling stuff in a minute and stuff. I look at a race that has been specifically Darlington, in the next gen car. This track has been extremely volatile for lap leaders and people who have the fastest car and stuff. We've had multiple situations of people either having tires go down or being caught up in late race crashes or just having issues and stuff. If you look back at everybody, not one single person has a clean slate here at Darlington, right? So first and foremost, I think that lends itself, especially with how long the race is, I think that lends itself to being much more open to play different combinations of drivers and stuff. And we'll talk about what I expect to be the guys who are our own stuff. But because of that, specifically lap leaders and stuff, I think you can make the case to play a lot of lap leaders today. Now, giving a rundown of what I'm doing, obviously I'm doing my 20 and everything, but since this is the last slate before football season and stuff, we're probably not going to have. I don't even know what tonight is. It should be 100K to first, yeah, which it is. This should be the last one. I know last week was 50K, which was unfortunate. But this should be the last 100K to first for the rest of the season. I think this will be the biggest one for the rest of the season. We'll probably be back to the 14,000 people contest and stuff. So what I'm doing today is hand building my 20, and then obviously I got to get out of here and stuff. But I'm probably gonna end up playing probably 60 entries or so in the 20 and in the 5. And what I'll probably do from that is hand build my 20 or 25 or whatever, and then I will go into to SaberSim and see if I can mess around and since the variance for the race tonight seems to be very open to people running issues and stuff. I'm okay for any shortcomings or something I might have to do with that, just in order to get more lineups into these contests, because as I said, it's the last one of the year. So that's where I'm going at. So at the moment, I'm speaking of where I'm at as I've hand built 15 or so lineups and stuff, and where I anticipate I'm going to continue building and focusing on and stuff. And so first and foremost, I'm not focusing on practice data at all. I mean, obviously I looked at it, right, but nothing super out of the ordinary. All the playoff guys are right in the middle of where they should be, since everybody's running long runs and stuff. And since we're expecting long run situations here, and then not short pitting, but cutting these stages into two, if not in the third stage, cutting into three and stuff. I'm just focusing more on where people have been at the intermediate tracks this year, and not the practice data that was done early morning in a race that'll be starting late in the day and go into the evening and stuff. So that's what I'm looking at first. Secondly, when I'm looking at builds today and where I'm specifically focusing on now, Let's see. Let me get my stuff up here. I have made 13 or so lineups right now, and currently this is not going to be my end because obviously I'm playing more lineups and stuff. But currently, I have 77% Hamlin, 69% Larson. Those are my two highest guys. I don't anticipate to be that high towards the end of the day. But Hamlin starting first. When we look at where everybody's been in recent form and stuff, I mean, this is where I'm going to be focusing heavy on where just people have been in at the intermediate tracks, right? Hamlin starting first has had a really, really good car at the previous intermediate tracks. When we're looking at who's been there, Larson as well. Now his shortcomings at Charlotte, Nashville, and Dover. Although he did drive through the field at Dover, but he started in the back of the field and had to drive through all day. I mean, it's Larson at Dover. Continuing on, obviously people like William Byron. I currently have 31% William Byron. Yet again, subject to change. I mean, this is 13 out of 60 lineups and stuff. But I think this gives you an idea of the people that I want to kind of focus on and target. I mean, even Ryan Blaney starting 12th and stuff. I currently have him in two of my 13 right now. But for the most part, I'm focusing on, very much Larson and Hamlin related lineups. Now, yet again, with the track history of lap leaders running the issues and stuff, there's no real reason to go, in the day with like 60% of any one person, because I do think that this, the trend will continue that one of your lap leaders will run into trouble and most likely not even finish the race due to scraping the wall just barely in these cars. You make any contact with these cars and they're totaled and they're absolutely done. But that's more of the focus on up top. Now, how I think the slate is really going to be determined in one is what we're doing with the value range. Now, we have a lot of, now yet again, it's 7:37 in the morning of the day. Obviously, we have a whole day of people, looking at the slate and stuff. But when I'm looking at this race and seeing how I'm building, I really don't have a favorite in the back of the field at the moment I'm building around. Now, obviously, I think Ryan Preece and Alex Bowman look incredibly good, and I would prioritize them over the anticipation that probably Keselowski is going to be owned. But when we're building, specifically, if you're building with two 10K guys, or even, Hamlin and Reddick, you're going to be living in the 7K range, right? A lot of good plays today in the 7K range. Okay, you have Hocevar, Preece, Bowman. As I stated there, obviously Keselowski has 76, but I like some people showing up early in my stuff just on projections, whether they're maybe projected a little too high. I don't really want to change anything, but my stuff likes Buescher. My stuff likes Ty Gibbs. My stuff likes AJ Allmendinger. I don't really see a reason why. Like, I'm probably going to be pretty even on the guys in the back of the field, and I'd be paying attention throughout the day of seeing where ownership is going to settle on in the back of the field, and yet again, due to the nature of these intermediates and where ownership is going, and most likely try and be underweight on whoever ends up carrying the ownership back here, which will most likely be Keselowski. I have to imagine Keselowski is going to be there. When we look specifically at, I mean, let's really compare where these guys are at. When we look at where Ryan Preece is at, compared to Brad Keselowski, not like very much ahead of where Keselowski is. Okay, we look at where Bowman is. Okay, Bowman head and shoulders over Keselowski. So like my two, the what seems to be the two better place differential plays seem to be Ryan Preece and Alex Bowman a day, and them at 71 and 76, which I think is a pretty egregious misprice there. Allows you to get Hamlin and Larson, Hamlin and whoever the fuck you want. Like you can pay up for literally whoever you want to lead laps in this race, and you can even argue you could probably take 3 10K guys and stuff. In terms of the value, I am very open to playing nearly anyone here. I would be hesitant on Stenhouse. Okay, I know Stenhouse probably seems like the first person that we go to outside of Charlotte. I have not really seen a lot of things that would lend me to wanting to use Stenhouse. Okay, you look at how much Stenhouse has struggled at this specific track, at least in the next gen car. Okay, and even if you remember him, I don't know why, and this isn't important. It's not like a major note, but when I think of Stenhouse, okay, I think of him spinning on like lap 2 during COVID at Darlington, right? Now I could be wrong, and we can, we'll go ahead and just go through and kind of fact check Stenhouse at Darlington, right? We'll just go ahead and do that really fast. But just off the top of my head, I don't remember him being particularly good. And I normally don't give a shit about track history and stuff, but when somebody's like uh ingrained in my head of not being good, which let's see if I'm accurate. He's ranked 18th, on the Racing Reference. Just looking at Darlington, let me go ahead and see how biased I might be to this. Okay, and relative to where he is starting today, what would this um, be? Okay, so we're missing the first COVID race that I'm remembering here: 25th, 22nd, 23rd, 16th, 13th, 35th, 8th. So he has performed better than I'm remembering. But for just whatever reason today, I'm just not a Stenhouse fan at all. I can't really explain why. I just don't like Stenhouse today as a play. Even looking at this and like showing that my bias is incorrect. I just don't like Stenhouse for whatever reason today. Maybe it's because I'm looking more at where he's been at this year, and I'm concerned he's going to be, finishing right around 28th and stuff. I would much rather take, an individual that I think is very even in terms of upside at a significant discount off of Stenhouse, and specifically when we're paying up for so many people, I think you want to look specifically at more of the cheaper guys in the 5K range today. And that's Ty Dillon. I think Riley Herbst is a much better play because of what he opens up. And you look at Herbst and Stenhouse together, we can see that they're not drastically that different. I mean, you can see that we have slightly higher um, speed in these races. Now, yet again, this is not the finishing position of these races. This is just how I have my data ranked and stuff of where these guys are at in terms of races and stuff. But I would take the $400 discount that you get on Riley Herbst compared to Stenhouse. Some other people that I'm much more open on down here, is somebody like Nemechek, 57, starting 30th. If this race goes green, we're gonna have lap cars, right? There's a huge change in how fast the field is compared to the race leaders and stuff like that. Also, Sheets went ahead and uploaded his stuff for the Cup Series, so now you have access to both mine and his projections for today's race. But I'm just more open to playing Nemechek, Ty Dillon, Herbst compared to Stenhouse. I also want to talk about Gregson really fast. Yes, we have seen the upside, obviously, clearly, right? But yet again, I just for whatever reason, I'm really hesitant on Stenhouse and Gregson today. Can't explain to you why. I'm here sharing my thoughts on the slate and stuff. When I'm looking at my build so far, let me get to them really fast. Sorry, I gotta go through all this gobbledygook here. I don't. Yet again, since I would believe that Gregson, potentially Stenhouse, Keselowski's going to carry ownership down here. I think naturally I'm getting a little bit off the path. Yet again, we're 9 hours early to the slate. But I'm using a good portion of my salary today. Obviously, I have some leaving like 800, 900 on the table, but for the most part, it's like 200, 0, 300, 400. And so mainly because I'm paying up for so many people and salary is so tight. I don't know. I'm not really concerned about duplications at all. I'm interested in McDowell. I'm interested in Zane Smith. As I said, my stuff likes AJ Allmendinger. I'll just be frank and say what I have him projected for today. When we look at AJ Allmendinger, I'm leaning more towards the potential of the speed that we saw. Now, yet again, it's been Dover was in June, I think. All this stuff is earlier in the year, right? But Uh, I have a Dominator with 32 points today, at $6,000, which makes him one of the better plays based on my stuff. So, like, I like him. Zane Smith, McDowell. Nearly most of my lineups are using somebody like that to get different and stuff. I'm not playing Justin Haley. I'm not playing Cole Custer. I know that for sure. I don't see any situations where I'm building with those guys. I just think those are unnecessary risks to take in your builds. Um, but that's more so where I'm at today. Um, as we look towards the NFL season, I would highly, I mean, obviously, I work for TrueDFS. I have stake in the company and stuff. I've been here full time, since I, left the Patreon stuff years ago. Um, in terms of what we offer here at TrueDFS, not only do you have our projections, and this is literally only here to encourage you to not get it and just move up to a SaberSim package and stuff, but you look at what we offer here, and it's all of our projections. You have Goldie's projections for all the sports. Yet again, I mean, we're basketball's back in October, if I'm not mistaken. Um, NHL's back. Obviously, NFL is back here on Thursday. You have our projections. You have access to Sheets' projections when he's playing whatever sport he's playing. You have access to SaberSim's projections and SaberSim stuff. Okay, whether it's the tools or the Sims, which I would highly recommend, as that's the pack. That's what I have access to. And then you also have James's work with Pater as well. Okay, so not only do you have that, you look at the tools that we have, like you have Paydirt tools, you have SaberSim, you have our stuff. That's practically three sites in one. If you are looking to possibly get multiple different projection sets and put them together and stuff, this makes it very easy for you because, like, as I said, you have SaberSims, Sheets, Goldies, Paydirts, and stuff. You can have multiple data sets to use and make or not even make projection, but use that to your advantage and stuff. I would highly recommend join if you're still looking for a site and if you're looking for a decent value in what you can get very quickly. Just because we're here, if you use code NFL25 or 20, if you use just fucking type it in chat. If you use code NFL 2025, no spaces, all letters, NFL, no space, 2025. You get 33% off your first month on any of the packages that you get here. As stated, I've had a tremendous last week and really this year. I mean, I'm on track to have my best DFS year. So, like, I mean, this is what I use. Finished second yesterday in the smaller 10. I think I finished ninth in the main GPP, and then I finished like 13th in the main GPP yesterday, and stuff. And just on this weekend alone, I'm up like $2,000 on NASCAR. Trying to think of other things to note or that might be important, but I can't envision. Typically, if I don't mention somebody, I don't have much interest in them. So if I mention a certain driver or whatever, that's probably I don't have much interest in stuff. Um, let's see if anybody else is here. Good morning, Andy, and good morning, Smoking Guns. Who's your top? Good show, bud. Who would be your top 3 dominators today? Or do you like to get the most fast? Or who do you like to get the most fast laps? Thank you, sir. Let me go ahead and look at my stuff really fast. Yet again, I would highly encourage you to spread ownership out today. You're the favorites to get those laps led and fast laps today in no particular order would be probably Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Briscoe, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, um, Bell, and then Reddick. Those are the guys that I would realistically. I have fast laps and laps led for much more people than that, but those are the people that I would look at to be your expected lap leaders and stuff. But if you're playing, if you're playing Chastain, you're not playing him because he's starting 6. You're playing him because you want him to lead laps and stuff, which he's done here before. But just like we'll go through the top 10 just really fast to see kind of where everybody's like stood here. Also, I gotta check and see if any shenanigans is going on for F1 in the second here before it starts. If I gotta change anything, not Chaser Briscoe, Chase Briscoe. Oh my lord. Briscoe's had really a pretty big improvement on speed this year. If you think this is very similar to the potential that MTJ had in this car, which I think at this point he's on line to be considered. I think you have to consider Briscoe. I have lineups with Briscoe in it today, with both Hamlin and without Hamlin. I know that for sure. We look at where Tyler Reddick has been a bit of a disappointment this year. I mean, outside of the Homestead, I would argue that he's been rather disappointed in the expected speed that he's shown. But a very long night, and I'm sure there'll be shenanigans in this race. We look at where Chastain is. We look at where Bell is. I mean, the guys who have carried speed throughout the year are those people that I would focus on. Wallace has been. I can't in good faith like play Bubba Wallace. Like I just have him projected to be so bad today. Like I have him for 29.85 points, so I just don't see myself playing Bubba today. Look at where Byron is. Blaney, as we stated earlier in the year. Yet again, we had Dover in June. Before that, Blaney was the most consistent guy on these tracks this year at intermediates. So I would prioritize as many of those people that we've highlighted on the in the top 12 to get laps led as possible, which is yet again why I'm open to paying down in the 5K range, playing a lot of the 6K guys and stuff. Yet again, Ty Gibbs just seems like a really good play in terms of builds like that. I don't know if I would play Timmy Hill. I don't know if we're going to see that much chaos in this race to make that justified. Derek Kraus in the 44 is probably gonna be a no for me. If you're really tight on salary, I'm okay with Cody Ware. But I think everybody from Kyle Busch, like this range here, outside of Keselowski, as I said, I'm gonna have Keselowski. Like right now, yet again, I have 13 lines made. Where am I at on my Keselowski ownership? Just to be transparent and frank, I have 46 right now. That'll probably get closer to 24 by the end of the day or when everything's done, because I know I'm going to probably be much less on him. But I think everybody from 23rd to 33rd is very much in play today to get different, to be, just play like McDowell seems like a great GPP play. If you have a chalky lineup, you want to get different. Carson Hocevar, he's literally going to finish last or probably compete for a top 12 today, just by the nature of what Hocevar does and how volatile he is. Volatile driver plus volatile track. Typically, those are actually places you probably want to target those people. Stuff because you can take advantage of other people's misfortune and mistakes. You remember last year we had Blaney and Truex wrecking like lap 2 or whatever. That's mainly it. Is Timmy Hill? I would not play Timmy Hill personally. Quadruple X times X a million to the power of X, whatever the fuck your username is. That's crazy. Okay, give me a second here. I need to check F1. Obviously, I can't pull up a stream. But has anybody died on the grid? Has anybody done any stupid shit here? Which I don't see. I don't see anything at the moment, so that's not too bad. Did this fill? Did the F1 slate fill today? If it didn't, I got 6 minutes to throw some more money in there, which the 4 filled. Oh shit, the 20 didn't fill. Are we? Well, so this is what we're gonna do this live here, because I've talked about the Cup Series enough. I'm gonna wait to let's see here. This is gonna be fast. We gotta do this fast. Are we gonna? We're gonna. Fuck, man. Do I want to make more lines for this stupid F1 race? Gotta do it fast. Let's see. I already have some. No, I really don't, man. I already have like I already have. Oh, we're gonna have overlay. That's the end of F1 for the year. There's no way we're gonna have a decent slate after this. I already have 15 in this. You know what? I'm just gonna let, because this is where, like, I'm like, do I want to add more F1 stuff today? As stated, I'm already playing, 1800, if more, for Cup and stuff. I really don't want to. Very quickly, as stated, gotta sell stuff. I guess we're not selling anything at all. Yes, yeah. Obviously been playing a lot of tennis and stuff this week, but I mean, just last 3 days, this is where we've been at. Obviously, the Xfinity race and truck race yesterday and stuff. But I mean, I give all the credit of this to TrueDFS, to SaberSim. Obviously, I'm doing my own stuff here, in terms of how I'm building and stuff. But it's been a pretty incredible last month right before NFL season. I mean, I have a way bigger bankroll than I've ever had before to goof around with stuff. I just don't think I'm going to make more F1 lines, so I'm going to be live, and I guess we can see where ownership is on these bad boys when it's over, or when this locks, rather. I don't really have anything else to bring up here, so I guess I'll let F1 lock. We'll look at the ownership and stuff, and then I guess I'll skedaddle, since the only reason I did this early is I just don't think I'm gonna be out of, like, I'm gonna be doing shit all day, and I might come back like an hour and a half, 2 hours before NASCAR, and I just figured I wouldn't want to do a video at that point. I don't see anybody else mentioning stuff, so I guess we're just waiting for this slate to lock. We'll look at that live and stuff. How much overlay do we have on this F1 slate? 0. Interesting. That's just crazy, dude. We're that. So we opened it up from a 23 payout. That's crazy. Well, we'll just enjoy the slight bump in the payout, I guess. We'll let this count down and then goof around and see what happens. But yeah. All right, what's this? Reddick or Bell? Great question. These are the questions I like, where it's not primary guys, very similar outcomes like that. You can tell that what the heck was his name? I don't remember his name, but I don't like. Anyway, Reddick versus Bell. Let's look at them specifically together really fast. We look at Reddick, so that's the baseline there. We see where Bell is at. Slightly more consistency out of Bell. Now the discount is only 300 between Reddick and Bell. At this point, I don't see that as a significant reason to lean towards Reddick. He starts 4th, Bell starts 7th. Yet again, when we're doing two drivers like this, we do have to split hairs. I would lean more to Bell over Reddick today. I will have ownership to both. I don't know what that'll end up being. I would lean probably more towards 18% Bell and maybe 15% Reddick when it's all said and done for my own stuff. But head to head, I like Bell over Reddick today. So to answer your question, that's what I would do. Come on, bro. We got 23 seconds. Let's get this over with. Because I want to get this stuff done and get on the road already. Yeah, hope. I mean, gun to my head, I like Bell over Reddick here. Okay, cool. We're locked. We're live. Also, shout out to the weirdest, like, LOL fucking slate I saw earlier today, dude. That was so weird to watch. Come on, let's Smaller well, it's not going to show up. It's not going to be 10 minutes. I'm sure it'll be here at like 3 or something, 2 or 3. I'm just curious on what this is a really interesting slate too, because typically when you get I can check it on my phone at this point. As long as it shows the payout, you can check it on your phone. Or used to, at least you used to be. Nope, we're just kind of twiddling our thumbs, I guess. We're just okay, cool. So like you have Hajar starting first, or Isaac starting first, right? These are the lineups that I went with. I'll just go through them all, and we'll just kind of look. I really didn't cover myself with if Alcon, if Behrman messes up. I have Behrman, but I don't really have a lot, so that's the thing I am concerned about. I went in slate in situations like this to where shit is just kind of wild. I was like, with how crazy this race could be, which is going to start soon. I might bring up a stream. I don't want to take the risk. I played Yuki specifically if Max gets involved in a crash. It seems like a slate that'd be pretty decently on and stuff, but everything is just so tight today, specifically with the McLaren and most likely the Oscar needs. I don't really have a lot of Lando either, and typically I was playing the cheaper of the two guys here. Where's Hello being at 45? That's interesting because I didn't get there a lot, as you can see. So we'll see how this goes. The Hulkenberg play, I just love playing Nico because he's expensive and people aren't playing him a lot. I think I have 2 situations in here. So we'll see. I'll check how many duplications we have at some point. This is where I'm at for F1. We'll see what happens here. Specifically, and lastly, one thing to note, this is a slate where I think there's going to be a lot of people double playing Stroll and Alonso. So I really made sure I really just made sure I didn't get any of those lineups and stuff. Because that was showing up a lot in when I was looking at lineups that were built and stuff. Anywho, thanks for joining me on this early morning. Hopefully this helps you out, and I will see you guys later, alligators. See you guys later next week. See you Thursday, actually, for the opening week of the Thursday Night Football game. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. See ya.